a father draws his essence from his connection with God. Again, I'll argument my thoughts with what Simon said. The word, Greek word is pater, which means source. That is the epicenter of the functioning of a man. And if we take it back to the very beginning, where manhood or fatherhood is defined, as it were, in Genesis, when God created man and put him in the Garden of Eden, and he comes to a point where now he brings the woman to the man. And before that, the man was naming things. Then he went into this sleep. Then God removed the rib. We all know the story, the narrative, right? And there I can delineate 5 things quickly. Number one, that the man, by the time he was able to identify with the woman and say, this is now the bone of my bones. He had come to a certain threshold. I heard someone, I think Mongera, His Excellency Mongera, who I've known for many years, he mentioned that a man must be able to get into a space where he, it's where you jump in and then you jump and you hope you'll develop wings as you're going down the, But I also believe that God creates a situation or experiences, which if one pays attention to, they are all signposting him to what he's ought to be. So when the man was naming things, fortunately, he had to sleep and have a buffer zone. When he stops and says, okay, I've named. Now, by the time the woman is coming, the man has a clear identity of himself. What would have happened if the woman came while he was naming animals? Perhaps he would have named the woman one other animal. So men have to stop from acquiring another PhD, another car, another land, another this, lest they add another thing called a woman. So there must be a distinction. So he says to the woman, this is now the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh, his identity. Secondly, his ability. Now he's aware of his abilities, and that is connoting that he has consolidated certain things that makes him position himself to the woman and society. So I think there's a bit where, yes, you need to as they call it, man up, but it's a bit where you need to address the issues that are within the boyhood. And that brings in the third thing, which is his mentality. Because he has a certain mindset about the woman, then now, this is now the bone of my bones. Paul says that when I was a child, I used to think as a child, but when I became a man, I stopped thinking like a child and started doing things differently. And the hallmark of his maturity is in his mentality. I know a man is mature, checking his mentality towards women, towards finances, towards circumstances of life. Those are hallmarks. And then we bring in the element of responsibility. It's been said, and rightly so, it's a fusion of 2 words, response plus ability. So when a man feels he is not responsible, I don't think that is really a nail to the coffin of manhood. No, it only indicates that you have not built certain abilities which, when demanded upon, you should respond to. So if a man is not able to be responsible financially, it only means now you have ability to build financial abilities. So when demand to meet obligations comes upon you, you are responsible. When you're not able to respond as a man emotionally, it means, in a responsible way emotionally, it means you have emotional issues you need to address. So when a man behaves like a child, the wife behaves like a child, the household behaves like a child, and then the neighbors, the children behave like bona fide children, that becomes a children's home, right? So there's a time when you must be able to say, okay, in this arrangement, who am I? I'm a man, right? And then you act accordingly. The last thing I need to say is the element of they were naked and they were not ashamed. That vulnerability. If a man can come to a place where you are naked and you're not ashamed. I like what Dr. Maxwell talks about, I call the PHE principle. Nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to lose. That to me is the ideal manhood. When you have nothing to prove, because you'll never prove anything anyway. There's always somebody more handsome than you. There's always somebody a little more uglier than you. There's somebody who has more endowed finances than you. So be comfortable within your skin. Of course, you'll be challenged, but you are not in a competition with anybody. Even if you have a twin brother, your brother's marriage will never be like yours. So you have nothing to prove and you have nothing to hide. If you have nothing to hide, be busy hiding nothing. Live authentically. That to me is you asked us earlier, what's the one word? To me, my late dad, may his soul rest in peace. He demonstrated to me authenticity. I mean, in many ways, he was endowed, he was a political advisor to prominent politicians, but the man showed me authenticity of being a man. So that a man is not defined externally, he is defined internally. And I think those are some of the sentiments I would want to put in. But thank you very much for your indulgence.
Thank you, Reverend Obwana. Now people will understand why nowadays my English has improved and I speak very, very, very good English and many interesting concepts. Thank you very much for those thoughts. As I said earlier, of course, we are not going to manage to exhaust everything. Already, our time is going a bit too fast. But there's a very interesting question that has been raised by Patrick Ojuado, and I wanted us to think about it. And I want Simon Baby to comment on it. How can the relationship between the man and his wife significantly enhance the fatherhood role, especially prior to fatherhood, and the dynamics that rise once this sets in? Very interesting question. Pastor Baby.
Well, that's a very good question, and I really like the discussions that we are having. But I think someone has said that one of the best gifts you can give to your children is loving their mother. And loving their mother, or the lady that is in your life, prepares you to actually be able to love the children. I think we have talked about one of the struggles we have in this generation of fathers to connect authentically and emotionally with our children, because a lot of us never really had that connection. A friend of mine told me the other day, the longest drive he ever had was to drive from Nairobi to Nakuru with his father in the same car. Because he said he didn't know what to say to him, and the father didn't know what to say to him. He just asked him, "Have you belted?" And that was it until Naivasha. Naivasha, he asked him, "Do you want yogurt?" And then they continued until Nakuru. A lot of fathers that I've talked to are older. They just feel like we don't know how to connect intimately and emotionally with our children. And I think that begins with our wives, because our wives want to feel that connection, and we can practice on them because now they're adults. We can have conversations about how we can connect. And that actually prepares us to be able to connect with the children later. And then just something I wanted to add, Raymond, is that the new realities of today make it harder for the fathers. For example, then when my father told me something, I just did it. The question was, what do you want me to do? Today, the children will ask you, why do you want me to do it? And a lot of fathers, older fathers especially, are struggling with that. How does my teenage daughter speak back to me? How is that even possible? And you see, if you have learned how to have those conversations, grown-up conversations with your wife, and they ask you something back and you actually talk through it, then you'll have prepared yourself to have those conversations with your preteen and with your teen. And I think lastly, is just the technology, that new reality of how to handle technology. I think it's something that has made it harder as well for the parents today. So I think I would say a good marriage is a very good prediction of good fatherhood, because now you can connect, you can have conversations, you can build relationships well, and eventually you'll attach to your children.
Fantastic. Very good. Gentlemen, I think the time is really running. And since we have said we're going to do this for 5 months, and there are many things that are going to be done by different initiatives here, I'm just going to ask Pastor Bevi to paint for us a picture of how do we walk in the 5 months towards the International Men's Day, and then maybe very quickly everyone can comment on what they are doing or what they will be doing, and also together with that, make a kind of a parting shot. Pastor Baby.
All right, I'll make it brief because you had introduced it, but imagine with me, good people, all the mothers who are here, all the fathers who are here, the organizations you represent, we keep talking about the boy child being in trouble. Today I was talking to fathers and everyone said the boy is in trouble. But then what do we do about it? And I love that we have come together as these organizations. But this is our plea as a team to all of you who are here. For us to help the boy child, who is really the prediction of a man tomorrow and the father tomorrow. The boy is a father of tomorrow. What can we do to make that happen? As leaders here, we have decided we're going to gather together. And number one, we're going to have conversations about this. So monthly, we're going to get back to you, keep watching this space, and we're going to have conversations about what do we need to do and how do we need to do it. Number two, as we get towards November 19th, which is International Men's Day, we want to say, whereas we celebrate the heroes today, as today's theme is, we celebrate the heroes in our homes, the fathers, and what they are doing. Those who are working very hard to provide for their children and committing themselves to make sure their children become what they're supposed to be. But then, like I grew up without a father because my father had died when I was 8. Who is standing in as a mentor or father figure to ensure that no child goes through that like I did? It took my music teacher to step in and become a father figure to me, and that saved me in a big way. And so we are calling the mentors and we're saying, can we begin to come together, train all the good men who want to mentor boys and begin to do it. And by the time we get to November, so many boys will have been mentored and so many fathers will have been trained. And then we'll gather together and make a big statement to the whole nation that we're gathering together as corporates, as mothers, as fathers, as boys, as girls, to say we have a joint problem together, the boy child, and we want to tackle it by mentoring thousands of boys and helping the fathers do a good job so that in time to come, we may see a healthy society. I'm so excited about it. And for me, together with training intentional dads, one of the things is just to do mentorship. And we have tried to write some booklets called 412 Boys to help as many men as want to mentor, to be able to mentor with information and with a tool that will help you mentor. So I'm excited about this, Raymond. And my call is to everyone. This is a trumpet call. Let's gather together. Let's do this together. It's a national problem, not just a boys' problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor Baby. Dr. Mukolwe, a comment and also what kind of initiatives also you are lining up in the next 5 months?
Well, at the beginning of the year, my friend Kevin Kanyotu and I got together with some men who are also on this panel and in the room. And we began a podcast called Share. I don't know if any of you are aware of it. And I was one of the people at the very onset of the launch. And this is Swahili for manhood. Share, English, Share, men sharing. I think it's a wonderful initiative where men are being invited to share the joys, the challenges, and other things about their lives. And that initiative, that's a Kevin Kanyotu initiative that I'm a part of, is reaching very far. Men are talking about things they hardly had talked about before. At Raising Future Parents, we continue to give our classes on parenting. And the parenting is not just for men, it's for men and women, but we are specifically asking the women to tell us where their men are, because a typical class has 80% women and only 20% men. And the 80% women are not single women. More than half of them have husbands who will not come to class. We're encouraging them to join, to take us where the men are. If they can't come to us, we can go to them. But also the initiative of helping men process anger. Men will say we are not angry, but even from that answer, you can smell the anger, you can hear it. If men could admit that they have a friend who has anger challenges and come to the seminar on behalf of their friend, they can learn a lot of things. When men come to me with marriage issues, I've begun a program of not just dealing with the issue, but working through their background issues, because the fears in a man's life inform their present response to what they're going through. The challenges they're facing now have not been generated right now. The challenges they're facing are stemming from fears from the past. And so just re-engineering ourselves on how to bring men in. One more thing, Raymond. I was speaking to an educationist recently from the US who says that all education curricula for the younger people worldwide has been designed for the woman to succeed. So when you find boys, young men challenged with education at a younger age, and some of them being diagnosed with learning disabilities, it is not necessarily that they have learning disabilities, is that the system has been set where girls can sit down and concentrate on a few things, but boys may have different learning abilities that are not being tapped into. And this is intentional to promote the girl and let the boy fall by the side. We can step in and save that situation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Mukolwe. Victor Salamba.
Yeah, part of what we are doing at Awakening Minds, I'm very passionate at letting men know that they're being heard, that no man should stand by himself. And this is one of the key things that we are doing. So between now and the end of the year, of course, we're finding our fathers, the Rite of Passage program, but also I'm really pushing beyond our fathers, because when I do relationship coaching, when I see couples in my office and I see men coming in, I always want to ensure that the men feel safe, because we are struggling with men being able to speak, and men are believing that they are already guilty before they even are heard. So one of the things I'm really trying to push out through many platforms that I have is that let men know that they can be heard and that no man should die by himself. Now, beyond our fathers, which is rescuing a man at a time, one man at a time, because I believe if you save one man, then potentially, you are saving 3 other men. And so my target is a man at a time to reduce at least the suicide rate, to reduce depression among our men, and to give men a fighting chance in life, in their families and in their relationships. So in Beyond Our Fathers, we are really pushing men to go beyond the men who left, beyond the men who raised them, beyond the men who rested, that we can be able to create a destiny that is stronger. And that is something I'm really pushing and I'm really working on. And I pray that my brothers here will be able to be part of some of the initiatives which we will put out. At least let's save a man at a time. You save one man, you can save 3 other men.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Victor. Boni Kageri.
Yes, I think very good conversation, Raymond. Thank you for putting this together. And just to go back to fatherhood and mentorship, even in regular mentorship, when you put fatherhood there, fatherhood has an advantage in the sense that it's easier to build trust. If you're trying to mentor your kids, one of the things they can't get with a mentor out there is trust, and can get all the other things that a mentor can give, except trust. So it's important that dads think about it that way. They are almost sort of ordained and almost sort of set up to do this mentorship to their kids. But otherwise, in terms of what we are going to do in the next 5 months, I didn't get a chance to say what my initiative is about. So my initiative is called Mother's Delight. And it's because we leave the mothers at home to delight as we take the dads and the father figures, for that matter, out there, hiking and camping and cooking and doing all manner of things and visiting factories together with their kids. And for us, it's a good platform to, first of all, if there are any values you want to sort of give to your kids, it becomes a very good opportunity. And on the other hand, the kids also get to learn you, because sometimes you may think your kids know you, but when you go there, they sort of know you a bit better. They sort of are able to pick what your intentions are. So we hope for the next 5 months, as we build up to International Men's Day, we can be able to participate in those initiatives. We also have talks on finances. I think we have one coming up soon also on the whole LGBTQ question, which has become a big thing. So we're also trying to tackle that in our forum and inviting speakers to sort of see how we can deal with these sort of menace. So we have a lot going on. I think I'm sure Raymond will find a way to communicate to those who are participating and see whether they're able to benefit from the activities we run.
Yeah, thank you,
Very
Bonnie.
much.
Among other things, we are going to communicate all this. I'm hoping most of you registered to the link, and we have your email address. Otherwise, you can just put in your email address privately to either Joroge or Philip Momo. Then we will send to you something. So, of course, I'm also asking the panelists to compile this initiative so that then we are able to say this is what is going to be happening in the next 5 months. Let me go to Kiteto.
So thank you, Raymond, and everyone for a very good conversation. Two things. One, Badili Experience has a website. You can raise us from there and somebody will respond to you. Kizazi Kipya Parenting Adventure is the particular program we run for parents. And it has a website page, Kizazi Kipya Parenting Adventure. There are many stories of different parents sharing their stories, so you can also go there and it's a resource to you. Then the third thing is one of the things I think that we've not talked about a lot is Kenya is leading, apparently, in Africa in just single motherhood, meaning there are many children that do not have present fathers or dads. And so what I'm involved in an organization where I'm a board member. The organization is called Ambassadors Football Kenya. So the initiative under Ambassadors Football Kenya is to use football coaches to close the gap of fatherhood. And so every coach touches at least 35 children, meaning those are like 35 households. And so on the 13th to 18th of September, we have an opportunity to go up Mount Kenya as a fundraiser, but also as a challenge to men. And so that's one of the activities that I'd invite us to consider just coming up and going out to Mount Kenya all the way to the top. We did that last year. We're doing this year as well. And to multiply these coaches, part of it is just to raise money. It takes only 10,000 shillings to empower a coach who then touches at least 35, maybe underfathered. Some have fathers, some do not have fathers at all in low-income areas. And that's, you can also go to the website of Ambassadors Football Kenya. Thank you very much. And you'll get the details, I guess, when everything is published.
Thank you very much, Kiteto. I can go to Heshimika, Reverend Joseph.
Thank you very much, Excellency Raymond. Heshimika, as the name suggests, speaks to virtues, values, and principles. One of the things that we reckon is that we have exteriorized many things. We live from an exterior posture rather than interior posture. And we are keen on building in those we interact with, especially in the sense of this conversation and those who subscribe to our program, men who are able to become role models, because you cannot be a mentor unless you're a role model. So I hear many people, when you ask them, who is your mentor? They say Barack Obama, they say TD Jakes. Those are your models. Until you can access that person, then they are not yet your mentor. And accordingly, what we reckon in that sense is that people need to, the people we interact with, and we've trained over 1,290 influencers in the media, in the political cycles. We have principal secretaries right now, and we challenge them to build into themselves the VVPs, the virtues, values, and principles of excellency, because you can teach what you know, but you only produce who you are. And so that's the challenge that we are positing. And Shimika therefore runs a 4 months structured mentorship program, which the first 2 months, we basically interact around what we call the 7 pillars of excellency, beginning with the excellency of conscience. We just interrogate how really do you connect with your somebodyness, your spiritual fortitude, your mental wellness, and then the other 6 pillars. And the last 2 months, we now have apprenticeship. We expose you to role models, individuals, and industry spaces where you are able to now see those 7 pillars being demanded upon you and being rather expressed in authentic ways. Together with some of my role models, since my age 13, I didn't have a father figure, but I mean a father biological, but father figures who have come around me, like Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, who for this many years has been a role model to me and a mentor. He's a co-commissioner for the Shimika Excellency Program, the late Dr. James Margeria, the founder of Daystar University, and many other men who come alongside to just demonstrate that these things that we talk about, we don't just talk about them, but we can exemplify them. And therefore, I'm happy to say at this strategic point, in the next 4 months, our next cohort 5 begins in July, on July 4th. And right now, the applications are open for those who want to be part of it. We can only take a limited number, but it's because we are very intent in journeying with those who are keen to become the best that they must be. And so I think we'll share the link and communicate through the provisos that Raymond will provide. And let's be part of this. Let's transform our society inward, outwardly. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Joseph Obwanda. I'll request your indulgence. Just we have a few minutes. I know we've already gone past time, just to wind up. So Bwana Mongera, and then we have Alvaro, and then we have Alex from World Vision.
Okay, so I'll keep it quick. Papa Bear is a platform that seeks to equip and engage with men around fatherhood. I've sent a link on the chat of the webinar. You can look at our website. It's papabear.co.ke, and you'll find all the links to all the work that we do. We work with men. We help to equip men to be exceptional fathers, and it's some of the simple things like what do you do when you have a newborn? What's your role as a man in that particular context? So it's little things like those, just helping men to be able to be practical in their fatherhood, and therefore more engaged, and therefore better at transferring the knowledge and the application in the families. The other thing that we're trying to do is we're going to do a second edition of the status of fatherhood in Kenya. We did a survey. This is probably 2 years ago, and in conjunction with Strathmore, the school, Raymond's facility, we're going to be doing another study in the course of this year to establish the status of fatherhood. We're big on data and numbers, just to see what exactly is happening in the country, so that we're doing our interventions based on information and insights that allow us to be more effective in our approach. And that's something that we'll be doing. We'll be reaching out to everybody to answer questions about what their experience of fatherhood is, and just really just get into a clear understanding of what's happening with fatherhood in Kenya today. So that's sort of like what we do in a nutshell. There's a link to all our socials and all the work that we do. I've put it in the chat, and our website is papabear.co.ke. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mongera. Alvaro?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I am so excited. I think maybe it's because of my age that I get to talk last. So we are saving the best for last.
Second last.
I can't even get that, but it's fine. Your Excellencies, going on with that. So my name is Alvaro. We work with Habu Themanini. For us, our approach is a bit different. We believe that it's easier to build a stronger child than repair a broken man. So for us, we work with the end in mind. So we think, what kind of man do we want? Then we pick up a boy from there. And one of the objectives that we have as we go through this 4-month, 5-month process is a rite of passage program, because the rite of passage is where this boy becomes a man. Yeah, it's easier to build a strong child than repair a broken man. So as we build these strong boys to become strong men, we do realize that our work as mentors is to support the fathers. So we involve the fathers. Like in 2 weekends, next weekend I know tutakuwa na Boni Naivasha for the rally. And then the weekend after that, we are doing a father-son paintball. So that should be exciting. Just to try and figure out how can we bring these fathers together to work with their sons. Yeah. But as we keep on moving, we also have a Rite of Passage program coming up in July and November. So I'm super excited about that. But I'm also hoping that we can work with other organizations here as we figure out how can we strengthen these men as we walk forward. To the other mentors out there who are not daddies, I just want to say we appreciate you guys for standing in the breach. Keep on doing what you're doing. There's a life you're touching out there, and don't give up. Yeah, your work is needed. So thank you so much, and thanks, Raymond.
Thank you very much. And finally, but not least, Alex M. Karaoke from World Vision. Are you there, Alex?
Yes, I'm here, Raymond, and thank you for this opportunity. Maybe just to mention some few things that as men we need to take home. I'm lucky I'm speaking last. As men, we need to appreciate that, first of all, as men, we can break down. As men, we can feel insecure. Even as men, we can have emotions. We do have emotions. And sometimes as men also, we do have mental illnesses. And it is not unmanly to struggle. It's good to mention that. And also to mention that as men, we need support, we need encouragement, we need to be appreciated, and we need to be celebrated. Now, briefly about our World Vision. World Vision, we continue to implement our celebrating family model. And as I mentioned, this is a model that we are implementing even in the rural parts of Kenya, working with parents, working with families. And this model, basically, we do have series of workshops and training that we give the couples who attend these trainings opportunities for self-reflection. And actually, we look at some thematic areas. We have 4 themes in this model. One is what we call seeds for goodness. And here we help the couples to understand and appreciate the importance of recognizing that all of us, every person has a good seed, and therefore a good seed or good qualities in us. And if you're able to find that good seed and build a strong foundation on it, then we become better people. The other one is we look at reasons for Thanksgiving. And here we help the couples find reasons to give thanks and celebrate what gives the family life. Then we also look at what we call spaces for love and grace. And here we use scripture and also data from research to see how families have been able to grow through this grace and love. And actually through that, how parents can administer discipline. Then lastly, we look at what we call opportunities for forgiveness. And we teach the importance of asking for and extending forgiveness in every opportunity as a means of achieving healing in broken family relationships, and also where we have broken relationships among couples. So Raymond, on the interest of time, I want to stop there. And as I hand it over back to you, I want to challenge all of us as men who are here. It is good for us even to show affection to our children, to our spouses. It makes a difference. Thank you so much. Back to you, Raymond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, my distinguished panelists. You will allow me not to mention you by name because of time. And thank you very much, our distinguished audience. Every good thing, unfortunately, sometimes has to come to an end. This is the end just for today, because we've said that we have 5 months to work with these initiatives and to promote them and to talk positively about the boy child, about the father, about the men, about the grandparents and the grandfathers. So watch and work with us, and for sure we will do something. We've already done this. This is the 3rd Father's Day, and we are very happy and very proud that we have carried on, and we're expanding our network. We are bringing in more people who are working on these initiatives. I think that is it for now. Just to look at some of the details of what people talked about in regard to fathers, just trying to see whether this can come out. Sorry. Those were my nice slides that I was to give, but they never happened. So let me just see. Just 1 minute, I present this. So some of the positive things that we were able to talk about. One celebratory word for our father is that he's, at least one big word there is that he's extraordinary, he's brave, and I think we can carry this with us, that and appreciate the fathers and go and tap them at their back, tap ourselves as the fathers, and mention that we are extraordinary, we are brave, we are mentors, we are heroes, we are diligent, we have gratitude. Yeah. There is a second slide that I wanted to show. Just what is one resolve we are all going with. So as we end, you can quickly just take up the slido.com and just say in one word, what is my resolve? And we see what we are coming out with out of the discussions that we have had. So I think mine is to thank you and invite you to work with us in the next 5 months as we strengthen these initiatives, culminating in the International Men's Day. Asanteni sana and have a good night.